This is my very first drone build. So I want to talk about a few things. The first thing is why I chose this 223S 3-inch format. So I started with the Baby Ape. I lost mine, so another one is coming in the post. And this one has been on the back burner as sort of my spare drone. And there's multiple reasons. So the Baby Ape kind of inspired this low-cost build. One is these Baby Ape motors. They're very cheap. Not the greatest in the world, but they will work for this build. I kind of overthink these things. These are not quite the perfect motors for this build, but they're so cheap that I thought I'd give it a go. And so, I'll do some flight tests in the future, but I want to just talk through the build. The main reason for this build is cost saving. And so I also went with the DarwinFPV all-in-one flight controller. It's obviously got this ESC built in, and it has ELRS built in as well. So I don't need to solder, also for convenience for a beginner, I don't have to solder in a receiver. Then I had a spare VTX from my Baby Ape, so I'm using that, which obviously in this build is basically free. And then I had a Caddx Ant. The Caddx Ant is ideal for these sorts of builds. I'm happy with the quality as a sort of beginner pilot. And so I'm just sticking with this for now because they are lightweight. And so I'll be using these on most of my builds because my next build is going to be a long range build. And then I had to think out how this thing is going to be structured. So I've got 3D printed hood. I'll put the link to that 3D printed hood in the description below, but I haven't flight tested any of this stuff, so I wouldn't put too much stock in that. What I would put stock in is like the thought process behind this build. And if you're looking for a very cheap build, this is definitely something you should look at. Before putting this on, strap this little elastic band in here. It's the easiest way to strap in these small 223S batteries. So that will go in there. I might need some sort of elastic band to control this. I should have shortened this cable, but that's just inexperience. I should have made that cable a bit shorter. And then I will put the diagram for this flight controller on the screen now. So I just followed that diagram and then looked up how to wire up a camera, how to wire up a VTX. It's very simple. Please do not zoom in and judge my soldering because I'm still learning. I would just say for soldering, get a good soldering iron. Watch Joshua Bardwell's soldering video to, I highly recommend. My soldering went up by like miles just by getting a better soldering iron. So that's one thing. Get a flux pen or just some flux. So even if you have self-fluxing soldering wire, I would still recommend getting a flux pen because especially as a beginner, you're going to be like adding flux every time you redo a solder joint. Anyway, so yeah, ELRS antenna is going to go here with a little cable tie maybe. This, I am going to just use that squishy, people call it snot tape, that squishy double-sided tape. I'm going to use it because it is heat resistant. I'm going to just stick it on top of the flight controller there. And then this is going to get screwed into the hood. Because this is this way and the antenna is coming out the side here, I'm just going to put it out the side of the hood and cable tie it on. And that's pretty much it. So I'm nearly there. I will update you with a flight and how things are going and anything that I would have changed. But I wanted to give a quick update on my first build of a little 3-inch toothpick drone.